Good morning, everyone. It is Marie here from Skeinz, and you are with the Skeinz Diaries. Today is Thursday, the 30th of July. This is episode 30. So 30 for 30. 30, yeah. 30. Episode 30 on the 30th. Fancy that. I can't believe where July's disappeared to. It's just seemed to have evaporated. I don't know whether you found that. It's quite incredible. You know, during lockdown, time seemed to move so slowly, and now it is like accelerated so incredibly quickly. Now I think I have managed to actually do this so it is operating both live in Facebook and in YouTube simultaneously at the same time. Well, I'm really hoping that's the case. If it's not, well, we'll soon find out, but that won't matter. I'm here now. Good to catch up with everybody and see what everyone is up to. And I have bought I've got so much to talk about today, like so much to talk about today. What have I got? First we'll start with Goldwind Progress, I think. Start with some Goldwind Progress, and I have been really good. I have monogamously been working on this the entire few days because I'm quite determined now that I want to get it finished. As I mentioned the other day, I showed you the sleeve progress that I had, and make sure I get this right around the right way. And there you can see there, like I've made some pretty good progress down the body. And if you're wondering, oh gosh, that cable looks a bit small, Marie, and it's very gathered. There you go. As you can see, I've made good progress down the body there. There's a reason for this, and that's because it's I like it on the smaller cable. This is actually, I think, only a 60 centimetre cable. And for doing these body stitches, I just find keeping the tensioning as I move it around is just a lot quicker because they're bunched up, but not too bunched up. I know it's something that Ethan quite likes to do when he's knitting a lot of stitches on sweaters and stuff. And he was talking about it a few weeks ago, and I suddenly thought, actually, that's not a silly idea. So that is certainly something that I thought I would give a go to and have a look at. Now I'm just going to do this because for some reason I'm hoping, let me just do this just to make sure. For some reason I am not sure at why I am not seeing where you guys are. So I'm just going to do this. So hopefully I can at least make sure that I don't miss any comments. This is the joy of me attempting to do oh, there we go. Yeah, no, oh, there you see, look, you guys are definitely there. Okay, that's good. All right, that's fine. As long as I know that you're there, but for some reason it's not showing the comments on my other main screen. So I'm just going to do this. There we go. And I'm going to take that one and put that over there. And I'm going to put this one over here. And hopefully I will be able to see you guys. Okay. The joys of live technology, eh? Here we go. Boom! There we go. So I can at least see comments on one side. And yep, definitely I can see comments on one side and me going on the other. So I'm sorry about that, guys. I don't know why it's not. It's possibly because I'm doing two things at once. So good morning. Maxine, Barbara, Patty. Yep, everyone's there. Yes, great. Oh, Patty's from Illinois. Welcome, Patty. Thank you. So yes, so back to it. So as you can see, progress is going really well. I'm really happy with it. And I've been so good. Like, I have been completely monogamous on this. I haven't picked up my hitchhiker. I'm just really quite determined now that I'm in the homeward stretch with it, that I want to get it done. I've even woven in my ends as I go. And I'm going to pull this out, and I bet there was an end here I haven't woven in. Oh, no, I have. Look. Woohoo! So, yes. So Goldwing is progressing beautifully. Really happy with that. And as I said the other day, I've just got a little bit of orange and red left, which I can do around the bottom. And then this is the remainder. This is what I recycled back of something else that I'd started. So for those who are wanting to do this at home, who haven't caught up with the progress on this, I'm using the oatmeal is Southland Sport that we have here. The rainbow is County Effect Garden, which I've gotten from my good friend at Yarns. Now, I have not used an entire ball. So in fact, I've probably used within a ball one. Let me think. Have I used? Yeah, one full colour repeat, one and a bit full colour repeats. So if you're wanting, and I mean, I've done this one of the bigger sizes too. So if you're wanting to do this at home, a single ball is all you require. But also, if you've got a larger, sort of longer gradient yarn. So I mean, this yarn is around 360, 370 meters per ball. If you've got an ombre style print, or if you've got a monochromatic print, or anything like that at home that you're wanting to use, or even if you're wanting to use something like this, you know, like an opal sort of printed yarn, the biggest key with it is to make sure you've got plenty of contrast. So use something that's quite bold. So either have your main colour as your bold colour and then this be quite light, or vice versa. The key is contrast. I've been very lucky with this, that the area that had the least amount of contrast, which was the yellow and the green, was actually through a section where it didn't sort of matter quite so much. So yeah, I'm really delighted. So that's where progress has gone with that, which has been great. Now, the other thing, actually, speaking of the opal, since I've got the opal here, we have our sock wall in the shop has been just a thing of joy. We got updated our sock bandit, so we've got plenty of sock bandit, and this has been selling like hot cakes. Absolute hotcakes. I think we're on, well, we put our second order in, and we put in a significant second order. If you've not gotten your hands on this, I can tell you right now it's not going to last much longer. You definitely need to get some sock bandit into stash. And actually, you know how I was saying before with this project, wanting to make sure you've got contrast. This is where these jelly shades work fantastically well. The beautiful monochromatic shades. They've got a little bit of depth and personality to them. And then you could use a main colour, just like a plain cream or a deep charcoal or something like that, to give you some really neat contrasts. So you do want to snap those up. They're both in-store and online. But we've been making a huge commitment to get these opals in, and we heard from Ashford's earlier in the week that the Jazz and the Adventure collection, which are the two new collections that we've had with Opal, are now both sold out with them, and we made sure we got them, and they released a new collection on Monday called Comedy, which I popped out already on Instagram and Facebook this morning, and I haven't got a ball in my hot little hand, but that's all of them there. We loved these. Claire and I saw these and we absolutely loved them because there's some really nice brights through there. They're fun, really fun. And they also have that really classic, what I call that speckled patterning that Opal is oh so famous for. It's really fun. We've actually ordered quite a bit more of this one because we just know that you guys will love this so much. And they also go really well with our plain Skeinz sock range. So if you're wanting to stripe or alternate back towards a sort of speckled yarn and then a plain contrast, you can actually do that quite easily, particularly if you're doing projects like Timely or anything that's sort of striped. And we'd been doing this because we've been so inspired with Sock Bandit and these opals coming in. And I've also been teaching somebody how to knit this last sort of month or so via long distance. They've not been here in the Bay. And they've really taken to it like a duck to water and thoroughly enjoying it. And I sort of have a very, what I call Karate Kid approach to teaching someone how to knit, like wax on, wax off, doing the same thing again and again and again. And so they've been working on Garter Stitch, and they're now on to their, like last night they casted on their 4th project. So we've been working on just a basic Garter Stitch cowls. We're doing fingerless gloves, casting on another cowl last night. And, you know, you forget, you take Garter Stitch for granted. And I've been working on my umpteenth hitchhiker with the kinu from Ito and a alpaca which I had in stash, just some stash yarns that I had because I wanted to do some marling, double stranding them. And you know, there is something so incredibly comforting about Garter Stitch, and I mentioned it on Monday. It is much maligned because it is just straight knit stitch, but there's so much that you can do with it, and it's really forgiving, and it is so good with using up those, and I know we've all got them, because not everybody is going to knit socks. We're just not. And we've all got these single balls of what have you. I mean, that's what inspired me to do Goldwing, was I had a single ball of this, and I've had this for more than 10 years, and I was just like, this is crazy. You know, I've got to knit this. What can I do with it? A single ball of something? And these yarns, there's actually so many that you can do with that single ball, or even twos, that you can do some really incredible projects with. And that's where Garter Stitch comes into its own, because it's sort of interlocking construction, does some really interesting things with colour and can play on colour. So I mentioned the hitchhiker that I'm marling at the moment. You've all seen that ad nauseum, and you probably, if you've watched a lot of the Quarantine Diaries and my videos before, you'll see this project that I'm about to show you. But I bought it in from home, and I've just realised it is covered in dog hair. Sorry. I also have dogs. I bought it in because this was a Regia yarn, Calf Facet collection, but same sort of principle as the Opals. And see, look at that. And hopefully the camera will be able to cope with that. And this is what Garter Stitch does. It creates this incredible visual symphony of colour. So this is Hitchhiker. Now, we all know that I'm a huge Martina fan. We love the Hitchhiker. That is a pay pattern. But there are this exact shawl, pretty much, but without the teeth, is also available in a pattern that's called Linus by Annette Cordes. And that's it there. Now, this is available free on Ravelry. Really, really easy to get hold of. So it's called Linus. If you just put, literally, I Google search this. I just put in Linus shawl, and it was the first thing that popped up on the Google search. That's it there. This is seriously the perfect little simple shawl for these balls of yarn. It uses 200 gram balls. If you were wanting to do sock banded and striped, hello, boom. And, you know, there's something to be said about, I mean, you can do really challenging shawls. There's some amazing things out there, right? I don't know about you guys. When I am so busy, I just love having, you've got to have that one project, which for me is like, it's piece knitting. It's knitting that you don't have to worry about. You can pick it, have by the side of the chair. You never have to panic about where you are in it. You can just pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. It's purse knitting. It's what you have in your handbag when you're waiting to pick the kids up from school. It's the stuff that you've got when you're sitting on the sidelines, absolutely freezing your toes off when you're watching rugby or at school sports or whatever it is. It's that sort of easy peasy knitting, and I just think that's an absolute cracker. And in fact, it was the girls out here that discovered it, and they recommended it a lot. So if you've got those stray balls, or if you're wanting to do something fun and colourful, but it's just mentally no stress, you can just get completely lost in the rhythm, that is the project for you. Now, I know for everyone that's not the case. and they require something a little bit more challenging, and I get that too. What is moderately more challenging and loads of fun, and I'm so glad because I pulled this project in and bought it. I just grabbed it when I grabbed the hitchhiker, and then I jumped onto the speakeasy this morning. I was looking for something else, and I saw Sue had posted up, Sue Palmer has posted up her version. She's working through this at the moment. And that is the Hello Tourist, which I have worn, I know, loads. As you can see, it's a decent sized DK shawl. I knitted this a couple of summers ago. This was done in our first version of Pearl, which was Tiare and Gardenia. Tiare hasn't come back in the second release, but Gardenia most certainly has. It's DK, so any DK yarn will do. However, I particularly love Pearl for this project because it is beautiful. It's soft, it is lush, it's got this wonderful sheen. I have thrashed this. You have no idea how much I've thrashed it. It's, as you can see, it looks great. I've not done, just so you're aware, I have seriously thrashed this. It has not been, other than the initial block, it has not been washed, it has not been depilled, and it's coped beautifully. It is a free project on Ravelry by Wonderlanding, and if you're wanting to actually do this, we do still have some Pearl yarns left, because Pearl is a recycled yarn. It's one thing that we only do a collection generally once a year when we've got enough project stock. We have got some Pearl Gardenia back, which we got back fairly recently. So if you like the white stripe, you can get some Gardenia. But we have also got, we've got it in the shop, and I really hope we've got them online. But these two, which are Siren and Atataki, which I just think are gorgeous, and with the white would be amazing. But the other combo that I think would be incredible in this Hello Tourist, and I'm so tempted actually to do that, is these two here, which is the Pirate Cove with the sparrow. Or if you happen to have had some Barbosa or some Kermadec, which you had gotten before they sold out, those with that Pirate Cove. We've got about 6 packs of this one left, and see, it's looking a bit orange there. This Pirate Cove really is quite delicious, and I know actually I'll be stocking up on some of this before it disappears. So if you're wanting to do a Hello Tourist and get that beautiful unctuousness with the drape and the softness, can't recommend it enough. And, you know, back to value, you know, there's been loads of conversations in the community around value in terms of being able to provide value, and designers, well, this pattern is free on Ravelry. The Linus that I mentioned is free on Ravelry. You know, now, I won't lie to you, this uses a lot of yarn. I mean, I think all told it's something like 8 or 9 balls. But look at it, it's huge. I mean, this is, I mean, I wear this both as a big, huge shawl, but also it's one of the few, as a scarf, but a big shawly wrap. It really is I mean, I thrash it. It's worth it, worth every single penny, I think. And, you know, you're able to do that with yarns with us. If you did it with Pearl's $8.95. But, I mean, you could knit this in Perrindale, $4.50 a ball, vintage $5.95. You know, we've got some really incredible value yarns. In fact, speaking of, if you're wanting to do this, and it's just looking out the window there's just reminded me, we've got the St. George, the last of, if you go to the sale page, and I think it's also in Importer's Clearance, the St. George Merino cotton, which we got in, did we get it in for the sale? Our March sale, yeah, we just got to the last tail end of it. And actually this project would be perfect for that yarn, and it's been specialed out at $6.95, so it's the very last of it. It's utterly divine. Like, it is so soft, and it will wash like a rag, machine washable, amazing. Do make sure you check that out. And if you're in store, the display that's got that St. George, and these are not online, I'm afraid, because we only have sort of not enough for online ratsy micey bits left, but we've got the last of the Sensation Merino 10-ply. We've got this aqua blue, we've got this beautiful red, and we've also got a couple of, got a really rich chocolate, and I think there's a deeper one as well. So these are going out at $3.95. So if you want these, you've got to come in store. Right, anyway, I digress. Where was I? Garter Stitch projects. The other Garter Stitch project that I just wanted to bring up, I put up in the newsletter on Monday a really cute little project called Macaron. Absolutely Macaron, gorgeous, so cute. Little freebie baby pattern. The other pattern that I think, if you're wanting to invest in a pattern and you love Garter Stitch as much as I do, and you want to do some fun stuff which you can do with stripes, this is a pattern that I believe that really every knitter should have in their toolbox, and that is the baby surprise jacket, or the surprise jacket from Elizabeth Zimmerman. I'm just going to put that up to there. As you can see, that uses a multicolored yarn. It's got this beautiful mitered square. The construction on this is genius, utterly genius. What I love about this is that it can be sized up and sized down to any needle size, any yarn amount. It's easily, absolutely, endlessly customizable. It's available on Schoolhouse Press. Again, when we get to the ends of all of these, I'll make sure I get stuff in the comments for you. It's available on Schoolhouse Press. It's $11.99 US. Yes, I know by the time you convert, that's an expensive pattern. However, it's not really just the pattern you're buying. What you're buying is the entire legacy and design of how you create this particular design. And once you've got that, it is like a full how-to guide. And once you've got that how-to guide on actually how to construct this particular jacket, it really does. It can blow your mind, opens your world up, and it allows you to do, seriously, if you need a jacket or a cardigan for any size, any age, and any yarn for anybody, knitted from stash, you know, you can do it with this. And it gives you all the simple steps and the information you need to know to be able to customize that pattern yourself. So you're not having to scramble around and try and find patterns. You're not having to scramble around to try and find yarns. You can use what you've got. You can pull it together any size. Seriously, if you've not got Easy's Baby Surprise Jacket in your arsenal, do. Also, you can check it out actually on Ravelry. It gives a massive big list of all the publications where that pattern has actually been published for free in different publications. You may actually already have it sitting in a book or an item in your library, but it is certainly well worth doing. Ironically, I've got this in my collection. It's not in this one, but she's honestly got, if I needed to, I love this book. I go to it often and a lot, and people will say to me, you know, the modifications, the famous busky modifications that I am always doing, it's her fault. Easy, she was the queen of modifications. Modification was her middle name. She didn't, you know, the whole, I mean, for her, a pattern was a really, really rough guide. For her, it was about the creation of knitting. And she was a massive lover of Garter Stitch. I mean, look at that Garter Stitch vest she's wearing there in the back. And this is one, I mean, again there. Huge fan. So yes, I cannot recommend enough the Baby Surprise for sure. Right, okay. What else have I got on my list of things to do? I have talked about the Opal. Oh wow, yes. 30th, right? Today's the 30th. One of my other jobs today, sending a newsletter out today. I am going to get organised for Monday, and I promise you that binge knits will end across the winter. We will have a new theme in the Speakeasy for August, and it's going to be so good. I'm going to let you know about that on Monday. Or in fact, I'll probably put it up over the weekend. I'm going to get a tile all made for that. We are going to, for the month of August, we're going to sort of have a little bit of a celebration, because for those that have attended Knit August nights in the past may know that I have deferred knit August nights for 2020 to 2021. Just with COVID, things were just too uncertain at the time that registrations would open. A good percentage of the people that come to the event are actually come from offshore, and I just had thought, no, I'm going to give everybody a bit of a break. It's all just a bit uncertain. But what we are going to do is we're going to have this can-themed pop-up here in store at Skeinz. So there is a whole bunch of stuff we've got planned across the month of August, and I'm going to start filtering that information out to you, both here on in our Skeinz areas, but also over on the Knit August Nights page to let you know about some of the things that are going on. One of those things that we've got going on is Susan Hagedorn, who is one of my legacy tutors with Knit August Night. She was there the very first year. She taught in the inaugural Can Cruise. She has been with me right from the very beginning, and I caught up with her in Wellington a couple of weeks ago. And Susan is coming up to do some classes here in store. We're finally, the room that I'm in here, we're finally getting to utilize it for some classes, and we thought this is the perfect time to get those started with Susan. And we're doing two classes across 4 sessions, a mixture of both weekends and during the day for those that work, or so you can get to different sessions. And they're 2 lots of classes, and both of these classes have been inspired by the huge number of people who have returned back to knitting across this winter with COVID and being at home. And it's something that we've seen out in the shop. And the first one is basically called the Knitting Skills Booster. It is all those little techniques that when you pick up a pattern for the first time, you haven't knit for ages, and we've seen it loads. People have come and the girls have been amazing at matching up patterns for you. But so this would be a great example. You've got this pattern here, and in this pattern is a knit in the front and back. And for a lot of people, they'll remember knit stitch and they'll remember purl stitch, and they might remember a basic cast on and sort of a basic cast off. The YouTube is there, but sometimes you just need to sit down with somebody and do those things in person. And this Knitting Skills Booster are all those little instructions that crop up in sort of most standard beginner, advanced beginner up to intermediate patterns. So they're things like knitting in the front and the back. They're things like increasing, make one, increase, decrease, knit 2 together, SSK, a couple of simple cast-ons, couple of simple cast-offs, essentially bolstering your toolbox and giving you a bit of an extra reminder of all of those little techniques that if you've not knit for quite some time, you won't remember. Or if you've been knitting for a wee while, but you haven't really gone outside your comfort zone, this is the class for you. We're obviously only doing them here in Napier, so you need to be either local or prepared to do a bit of a day trip down to say good day to us here at Skeinz. They're a couple of hours long, and I will make sure that I will pop up a link in the comments for you guys of where those classes are found on the website. You can actually order those online. The class sizes are very small though. We're only doing about 10 people per session, so then Susan can really spend some a good amount of one-on-one time with you. So we're super excited about that. So Knitting Skills Booster is the first class. The second class is Introduction to Knitting in the Round using circular needles. And again, it's because so many people are picking the needles back up again, and wow, I mean, techniques, needles, tools, everything has come on so much in the last 15 or 20 years, or especially the last 10 to 15 years. And circular needles and knitting in the round for those top-down patterns honestly will completely blow your knitting world apart, because it will open up so many pattern options out there. But for many people, they've only ever knitted patterns worked flat and in pieces and actually compiled together. So she's going to do an introductory lesson to being able to learn to knit in the round using those circular needles, covering things like magic looping. So then when you come across those really incredible patterns on Ravelry like this, you can go, I can do that. Because I can tell you right now, this is not a difficult pattern at all. it's actually really straightforward. It's the yarn that makes it look difficult. It's not difficult at all, but you do need to have those few basic knitting in the round skills. And so Susan will be covering that off. So there's 2 sessions of the skills booster and 2 sessions of the intro into knitting in the round. So make sure if you're local and you want to check those out, do make sure you have a look at them. I also will be having some secret friends coming along to pop up and do some things here in store. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that next week. We also, though, have special yarns arriving. Claire has been so busy hunting out some amazing yarns for us to have for the month, and we have got word yesterday that our first pallet of yarn will land in Auckland on Monday. Hopefully it will be on a truck and down to us by Friday, and that is from Cascade, direct from Cascade out of Seattle. And I, over lockdown, you may remember I knitted this over lockdown. This is just my Ever After cowl, which I supersized on some bigger needles. But see that the beautiful, colourful, oh, I know it hates this cowl for some reason, the beautiful, colourful yarn in the middle there, which is the Melelia. This range is one of the ranges that's coming. It's been discontinued by Cascade, so we have bought all the stocks that they have. Plus, we've got a couple of others coming as well. So excited about that. So that will be arriving and up and running for you guys. There's some, I think there's some 220 prints in there. There's some really fun stuff. So that's all coming. We've also got some stuff from Blue Sky coming out of Minnesota. And we're working on one other as well, which probably won't be with us until the end of the month, but still super, super, super exciting. So that's coming. And then last but not least, you'll see that I was being a bit of a saucy minx, teasing you with a black and white image this morning, because Gothic from Outlaw Yarns will be going live Saturday. If you have actually popped over to the page, you may notice that there are yarns there listed with names and no images. And that is because Deborah has got her mystery packs available, and the international mystery packs have been coming down through us. So if you really cannot wait and you want to buy some of the new Gothic, and you want to have it as a complete mystery and buy it sight unseen, fill your boots. You're most welcome to do that. Just remember that if you don't like the colour, it's on you to, it is a mystery. There are no images there quite deliberately. And also, too, the returning yarn is not listed. So that will not be making its appearance. It's lurking in the shadows as we speak, and that will not be making its appearance until Saturday. But I just wanted to bring this in to show you, because, again, I've worn this. I love this because it's colour coordinated with Skeinz. This is just my rib bee cowl. This is just a free cowl. This is so perfect for Gothic. And for those who have not knitted with Gothic before, it's part of the Bohemia range. It is so incredibly soft. You can see the bloom of the possum there. What makes Gothic special from regular Bohemia worsted is that it is made using black alpaca instead of cream alpaca. So you get these very dark saturated colours. This one is Shelley, which is from collection 1. Deb changes the collections out every year and only will bring usually, I think, from collection 1 to collection 2, there were only 2 colours that returned. Collection 2 to collection 3, launching Saturday, there's only 1 colour returning. So you've got to, if there's a colour there that speaks to you, you need to make sure that you get it and you have it into stash, because it may not be returning. So this was Shelley. This was one of my absolute faves from collection 1. And this is the perfect sort of project that you can do with that. And the Ninilchik Swancho, which we've been talking about, that's another project would be amazing in this yarn, particularly too when you use the regular Bohemia worsted as a contrast, because they've got all those lighter colours across in there as well. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So it's certainly something that you can do without any drama. Right, let's see if I've got any questions over on the side. Oh, see, it's not. Oh, there we go. There you go. You know you want to. For some reason, yeah, it's not. They've not appeared on the other side like they usually do, which is a bit of a. Is it going to let me have a good look? Oh, there we go. Oh, It's not going to let me do that, but that's all right. Oh, here we go. Let's try that. No. No. Huh. Yeah, here we go. Anyway, I think it's me. Don't think I've got anything more. I'm going to, as I said, I'm going to completely keep going on my gold wing. That's what I want to get that done. I'm still undecided on my modifications. I have softened down my increasing. I'm quite comfortable that I've got the increasing that I need there through the body. And, oh, hold on, I better check. Look, I did write stuff down. Oh, yeah, restocks. I knew there was something else I was going to forget. Yeah, so I'll let you know. With any luck, over the weekend, I will get it mostly done. And, yeah, I'm hoping to. Just depends on how much time I get. So that would be fun. Hopefully I'll be able to show you some what I've at least made a decision on what I'm going to do on that. Restocks from Claire. Great news. Mahana Crater Lake. I know heaps of you have been waiting for that. That is now back in stock. Perrindale Navy is now back. I know a number of you have been waiting for that. And in Southlander, in Sport and DK, we've got Dusky Heather back. And in DK, we've got Gypsy Green back. So it's really good that we're starting to get some DKs back in Southlander because they have just been gone. So they are all back. But don't panic. Most of this is going to go out in the newsletter this afternoon so you can stay up to date with what's going on and get yourself sorted for the weekend. So until then, have a great weekend. I'll be back here on Monday and we can tell you more about that new theme going on in the Speakeasy. I will be announcing some winners as well. In fact, I might even get onto those today. We might just do them a day early. We'll roll over the 31st into the new month so we can get those out as well. And yeah, there's going to be a lot happening in August. So until then, I will see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Take care.